You know what? I'm sorry that we haven't had any videos posted, but some technician guy doesn't want to post it. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we live? Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
It's not that we haven't been doing recordings, because we have been.
He is an ass. We're just working on improving things, and there was an issue with volume, which I think I figured out because I had the recording volume set kind of low.
I think it's more like he said tinny issues, the guy said.
Oh, well, no, we had...
Echoey.
We had
no
volume. Like the volume switch was almost off, so hopefully we fix that. We've been working on high-tech stuff. Oh, my Lord.
Rebels.
Anyways, 2.0. This is, we're now going to focus on Galactic Empire. We're sitting here today discussing the difference in cost on the ships and the pilots and upgrades and all that kind of stuff. And it's, let's see, it's Galactic Empire, and we're going to look at the generic upgrades as well. And then I guess we'll leave Scum and Villainy for its own video as well. Rebels only lasted us, what, an hour? I think after trimming it with the video editor, I got it down to 50 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
I have a wave of videos coming out. So
just so you know, we have been recording.
Just ignore Schwabi. Anyways.
You know, I've been here 3 nights. We're recording. And nothing is posted. It's getting tiring. I tell you. I don't know how much more comical relief I could be.
Oh, I do. Anyways, let's get this going. Let's take a look here. Alpha Class Starwing. I'll start with a bunch, and then you can be some comic relief while I discuss them. How much Imperial do you fly, Mr. Schwabi?
Hey, you know what? I actually fly some Imperial. Oh, look at my hair. It looks like a disaster zone. I need to start fixing the hair.
Yeah, no, it won't get any better.
Alright! Fantastic.
Alpha Class Starwing.
I fly those, actually.
You fly those?
Yeah. Kind of.
Sort of. You kind of, sort of fly them.
I kind of did. I like them. I haven't flown them since. But I have flown them. Anyways, please continue on with your Alpha flight.
Oh, up your nose.
Hey, I'm not the, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just flapping things around. You can have it back when I'm done with it. Oh, man. Anyways, Alpha Class Starwing. Let's get this going, because I'm going to edit out most of the beginning anyways. We still have the same 4 players. You've got Major Vinder, which has gone from 26 points in 1.0 to 41 points in 2.0. So that's basically, if we cut that in half, he's about 5 points cheaper than he was before. So those Alpha Class Starwings, or the harpoon throwers that we got, that everybody loved them so much for, are getting cheaper. They won't have the harpoons, but they're going to be a cheaper ship to throw in the build. Lieutenant Karzaby, he's gone from 24 to 39, so yeah, he's at least 4 points cheaper. Then Ryo Squadron Pilot, he's also done the same. He's was 21, he's now down to 37, so that's what, 15, about 18 points, so he's 3 points cheaper. And same with the new Squadron Pilot, he's the same sort of group. Basically the same upgrade bar. The first 3 are going to have elites. They got the torpedoes, the missiles, upgrades. They're going to have, well, they're going to have the upgrade cards for their little abilities for, you know, boost and still be able to shoot. But they're also going to get, what is it, the sensor. So they're going to have the sensors on board. So I don't know if that's enough of a trade-off to give up harpoon missiles just to get sensors. I don't know. You flew them a bit. What did you think?
I flew them once, and my build sucked. So I stopped playing them. But in my opinion, The Alpha class ship, gunship, is actually a really solid ship. I really like it. I just haven't been able to find something that suits me to play with.
No, but I mean, the big game with that was the harpoon missiles. Loading them up, having them come in with harpoon, shoot away, fly around, turn around.
No, these guys have played with the those cannons.
Yeah, no, well, a couple different cannons I've seen set up on them.
Like a DOS cannon. No, I can't remember the name of the gun.
It's all good. So anyways, not a huge change for the Alpha class. Next on my list is the Lambda class shuttle. And basically, it hasn't changed a whole lot. Let's see. Captain what is that? K-A-G-I? K-G? Kaji? Kaji. Yeah, apparently.
He's a very cadgy guy. He's very catchy.
Apparently, he's still in first place. He was 27 points. He's now 48. So technically, that's cheaper. That's, what, 3 points cheaper?
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. They've got rid of Yor. Yor is gone. I think we've already looked at that.
What a shame!
What?
I'm so sad that Yor is gone. What a shame!
Well, they got a Lieutenant
Poor
Say.
Yor!
They got a Lieutenant Say. And he's going to be 47 points. Not sure what his ability is, but he's taken his place. Colonel Jendon, he was 26 points. He's now 46. So again, he's 3 points cheaper. And then just the Omicron group pilot, which was 21 points. He's actually, they made him more expensive. He's 43. So he's like half a point more expensive. Which, you know what? Now that these things are going to be shooting out of their back ends and their front, half a point on the Omicron, that's not a bad trade-off when you think about it. Their upgrade bars are the same. I mean, there's nothing new on the upgrade bars. I mean, let's see here. What do they got? They got scanners. They're going to have the heavy lasers. They got 2 crew, upgrade, title card, same as before. But yeah, no, nothing new and exciting there. What about you? I gave you 2 ships to look at.
Well, my whole list of 2.
Hey, you got all the upgrades on the back. I mean, hey, come on.
Okay, sure. The TIE Striker. The Striker. So, Countdown and Duchess decide to switch spots. Countdown is number 1. Duchess is number 3. Countdown is 44 points. And originally he's 20, so he is down by...
No, he's up.
No, he's down. 20 points in the original... Oh, he's up.
Yeah.
So, let me fix that then. And so he's up by 4 points.
So well today. Oh my lord.
Then Pure Sabak is 44 points, stays the same, doesn't change.
No.
Duchess goes down. So Duchess is 42 points in the 2.0 version and is 23 points in the original. So if you would actually play Duchess twice, she'd be 46. So she's down 2 points.
Yeah.
But they switch spots. They have the Black Squadron Scout, which is nothing different. And they have Planetary Sentinel instead is new to replace the Imperial Trainee Scarif Defender.
Yeah.
Some elongated name that makes no sense. So it's probably a good reason they changed it. Fantastic ideas.
In Rogue One, it made sense.
And one for someone to actually have it pronounceable. Excellent choice. Very good choice. I approve this message. And the Countdown gets the elite pilot skill, but they also get the device.
Yeah, they get the device, or as we call it, bombs.
And the
Gunner.
Gunner. Yeah, that's what that was.
The gunner guy. So they're all getting.
It's like a U-wing or something.
No,
that's a guy.
That's a guy with the little gun.
All right.
So actually, that'll make those ships interesting.
Well, yes, sure.
Well, you've flown them, haven't you?
Nope.
I have, and I always get my butt handed to me when I do.
They still have the ailerons, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they'll have
Well, they have no title card anymore, so the ailerons are automatically on the cards now.
Yeah, I would think so.
That's pretty good. The Decimator, well, the Decimator has 3.
Yeah, they got rid of one.
Once again, Fantasy Flight so gracefully decides to remove a pilot off of a... I don't get it. Anyways, so Rear Admiral Sharna, which everybody calls Rack. Well, the action bar gains the gunner and it loses a crew. What?
Yeah, they
It
got.
had 3 crew before.
Yeah, this down to 2.
So now it's to double down to 2 crew. But Captain Arakon and Rack have the elite pilot skills. Theirs don't change. And the patrol leader is has everything except the elite pilot skill. And Commander Kentrick, whatever is gone. So, whoop-de-doo.
Well, they made the main guy a bit cheaper.
Rack is 88 points in 2.0. Originally, he's 46 points.
So he's 2 points cheaper.
Yeah. But he's still...
Ken loves to fly those things.
Captain Awakon. So does Nate.
Does he?
Nate likes flying them, too. It's one of his favorite ships to fly. He stays the same. And the patrol leader stays the same as well.
Yeah.
Again, the Decimator is just a big tank on the board. And I think that it's a viable ship in a lot of ways. But really, the only pilot I ever saw anybody ever fly is Rack. I am not sure what the
other 2 are going to do.
I don't even know what Rack is going to do, to be honest with you, because we really don't have the printout of the cards. Because I've even noticed with some of the new Saw Renegade stuff that came out, that stuff has changed. So they've changed pilots' abilities and skills with the new 2.0. So who knows what's going to happen with Rack? I'm pretty sure Nate has already looked it up and is probably already knows what it is. He'll probably tell me on Thursday because he's pretty good at that kind of stuff. And that's a credit to him, not a knock. But he probably already has that sorted out. So those are my 2 ships I have. So I'm going to sit here now and listen to the next 50 million ships over here.
No, there's not that many.
Twiddle my
Actually, you know what?
And play with my pen.
We did the Rebels video already, and there was a lot of ships there. When you look at the Imperial list, there really isn't that. Now that they've
they lose the Slave 1.
Well, they've lost lots of things because once you cut the Imperial army up like they have for the 2 factions, I think the Rebels fared better for the ships than the Imperials did.
That's why the Rebels always win.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get simple? That's why the Rebels win, because we need more ships.
Well, anyways, one thing that I find interesting is the Grand Inquisitor is now TIE Advance, and Darth Vader is now TIE Advance. So that tells me TIE Advance prototype is gone. It's just TIE Advance. They're just more TIE Advances, which is interesting because they're 2 different looking ships. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. But they've got the TIE Advance prototype is now just labeled TIE Advance. So that's kind of interesting to me. We'll do the one with with the Inquisitor. Inquisitor's bumped down. He's no longer the top dog because we're going to have Grand Inquisitor. Ooh.
Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah. And we're gonna have 7th Sister, whatever that is. I haven't looked at the card, so bear with me. And then we're gonna have Inquisitor. All 3 of those choices come with the Force. They're gonna have the Force tokens with them. So It'll be interesting. The Inquisitor was already a good ship.
Well, it seems like as we progress on with stuff, it seems like every time the Force has been added to a ship, they don't have the elite pilot skill.
Well, no, they lose the elite for the Force. You're correct on that. I haven't seen an elite and a Force yet. I mean, Baron of the Empire has the elite.
Which, in a way, I don't see how that kind of makes sense, but I guess with the generic upgrade cards, we'll maybe be able to find stuff.
Yeah.
But I still think that the Force, even though it's a new addition to the game, and I'm excited for it, by all means, I don't think that top pilots should be losing their elite pilot skill.
No, because that's just...
Because
it's a sweet bonus. I mean...
The Force is a bonus. It's not like... I don't think that it should have replaced.
No.
So I think that it should have been an add-on to the ships that have the Force. So they still keep their elite, and then the add-on to the Force. But obviously, Fantasy Flight has different aspects.
They also gave these guys sensors. So that, I mean, that's what? The target lock? The free target lock? Fire control?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's fire control. I mean, fire control on Inquisitor. I'll take that. I mean, I believe Inquisitor still everything is range 1, whether it's range 3 or 2 or whatever.
I don't have systems.
We're just taking a quick look here. You should have your systems should be on there.
No, oh, there are sensors.
Yeah.
There's advanced sensors, collision detector, fire control system, trajectory simulator.
Fire control systems, that gives you the target lock. So, I mean, the Inquisitor is going to be able to fly around and now get a target lock every time he shoots. That's pretty sweet. And even the Baron of the Empire is going to have the same ability, the cheapy guy. I mean, these things, let's see, the Inquisitor was 40 points. You double that up, that's what, 80? And he's only 25. so he's cheap.
Yeah, see, that's interesting.
Yeah, the TIE Advance was 34. I've got here that he's 19.
They knocked up some of the Rebel guys to like 100 points. Why wouldn't they knock somebody like that? Well, who knows? There's a reason for it, obviously, but things are gonna.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So. I mean, Val and Rudy and the second generic pilot are gone. The Grand Inquisitor, the Seventh Sister, the Inquisitor, with sensors and the Force. I mean, the sensors are going to give him the target lock. It's already an agile ship, even without the elite pilot slot. I can see this getting play. I think this will get lots of play. And then, of course, we just have the generic TIE Advance with Darth Vader, who's still king of the hill on that ship. Merrick Steele. And let's see here. Juno Eclipse is gone. But we got a Fed Voslo, whoever that is. Zerdic Storm, Storm Squadron. It's now an ace. It's moved from pilot to ace. They've improved themselves. And the Tempest Squadron pilot. Darth Vader's actually more expensive. He was 29 points, in 1.0? And in 2.0, he's 70. So he's gone up 5 points. Mark Steele, he's actually got cheaper because he was 27. Now he's 50. Cut that in half, that's 25. So he's 2 points cheaper. And for the most part, the rest of them are all cheaper too. Yeah, Tempest, the base, about a point or so. I mean, Zerek Storm is 45 points. This new card, Ved Foslo, is 47. Storm Squadron is now 43. It was 23. Tempest Squadron is 41. It was 21, so that's about half a point cheaper. And they've got quite a mix on their upgrade bars, too.
The one guy with the Force.
Yeah, Darth Vader has the Force now. That's a given.
Which is given.
Yeah, that's just a given. But they also have sensors. So Darth Vader is going to have his Force abilities and all that. And I mean, let's be honest. What else do you play with the sensors besides?
Advanced sensors?
Yeah, besides that.
Fire control system?
Yeah, fire control system.
Trajectory simulator, which will probably change.
Having a free target lock all the time? I can't. especially with the amount of I don't know.
Technically, we don't even know if fire control system is worded the same way.
I think it is. I think I've seen it. I think it is. I'm going to go on a limb and say it is, but either way, it's a free target lock being given to Darth Vader and the crew and the advanced. And that, I just think that's interesting because I don't think a whole lot of Empire or the Galactic
Empire. Who needs
the free target lock was more of a scum and a rebel thing than it was an Empire thing. So I think it's interesting that they've got that.
Well, we all knew that the new cards that they were coming out with were going to be interchangeable with every single faction.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that when they went through everything, they chose things that are not going to really take the game to a point where it's busted to the point where you're like, oh man, why is that card in there? But it's like, oh yeah, okay, so he has it now, I have it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, instead of having the rebels and the scum actually having that advantage, now the Imperials have the same thing. Well, you want fire control? Well, I can have fire control. So now that both have it. So I think it's it should be interesting to see what's going to transpire.
I like flying Darth Vader and I like flying the Inquisitor, and just having the sensors and the Force on them, they were already good ships. Well,
I'm actually quite surprised that the Inquisitor actually has the Force, but I mean,
the Inquisitor, is
he a Jedi or a Sith?
No, I think he's a Sith.
Is he a Sith?
He's of that nature, yeah.
Okay, well.
So the big one that got me while I was going through these for the Galactic Empire was the TIE Interceptor, which is a ship I love. I love flying interceptors.
Everybody loves the Interceptor.
They're just so much fun, and they look cool, and they're so much fun.
They actually look very cool.
But you were talking about shaving ships. There's six interceptor ships that will not be joining us in 2.0. It has been tailored down to just these 4.
They have literally wiped out 6 pilots?
They have wiped out 6
from
pilots.
From Interceptor?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You're down to Sutterfeld.
Yeah, that's
Turfenner or whatever, Phenir. I can't even pronounce English names, never mind these things. But anyways, you got him. Then you have Saber Squadron, Ace, which used to be pilot. Now that I noticed a lot of the cards that were pilots are all now aces. So, I mean, 2.0, everybody graduated, apparently.
There's probably some kind of ability that allows them to get aces.
Then you got Alpha Squadron pilot.
See, the Alpha Squadron pilot's probably very generic, so they're probably not going to have any. Do you know how there's the cards on the bottom of each of the pilot cards? There's some kind of a benefit.
Sure.
So anything that says ace, I'm pretty sure will have a benefit.
Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see. The neat thing about the Interceptors is they've got another upgrade. What is that?
Modification?
Yeah, they've got 2 modifications instead of 1.
The thing is really, what do most people play when they play Interceptors? Sutterfeld.
No, I played all of them. I went out and bought all the red ships so I could have fleets of red defenders and red interceptors because I like them.
Figure. How
Royal
many
Guard.
Interceptors does he have?
Well, they're all tucked away now, but probably
You have 3.
Well, I was gonna say got rid of a bunch. But what color are they? They're all
red and black.
No, they're all red.
They're black and red. There's black
ass.
on there.
Anyways, the first 3, Suter, Tur, and Saber Squadron, all have the elite, and then the whole group gets the 2 modifications. Sutterfeld was 27, so that's going to be 54. He's now 52, so he's a point cheaper. Turfenir, whatever his name is, was 25. He's now 44, so he's 3 points cheaper. Saber Squadron is a point cheaper. An Alpha Squadron pilot, let's see, that's 36. He's a point cheaper. So they're a bit cheaper. They have a second modification. We'll have to see if how that pans out or not. But I mean, well, actually, it's kind of cool because it was a given modification was auto thrusters.
Yes.
Now you could put something else on there and auto thrusters. So.
Yes, but auto thrusters. I don't think auto thrusters isn't a card anymore. Auto thrusters has been added to cards. It's not a card anymore. You don't have it.
I'm sad.
So wouldn't get too crazy about getting auto thrusters on
too
there.
crazy?
No. Nope.
Okay. Well, I was hoping they'd rename it to something else. I noticed going through the upgrades, there's some that have new names, but they're kind of the old thing. I'm gonna throw a TIE Reaper, and then I'm gonna give you the page. You can look at the next one. TIE Reapers, they're all new. Their upgrades are all the same. Well, that was hard. Want to look at the aggressors?
The TIE aggressors, actually, I really like the TIE aggressor. In my opinion, I really enjoyed playing them. But the thing for me is what are they going to be now that they don't have TLTs anymore? That's going to be the interesting concept of what's going to happen. But when we get to the generic cars, we'll find out what kind of turrets and cannons they can fire off. So, let's see. The TIE aggressor, we have Lieutenant Kestel, Double Edge, Onyx Squadron Scout, which is the same, and Sinner Specialist. So the names haven't changed. They're all here.
The order's the same.
The order's the same. Lieutenant Kestel is 36 points. The 2.0 was 22. So he's gone down in cost. Double Edge is 33. Was 19. He's gone up.
No, 19 is 38.
Oh, so he has gone down.
Yeah, he's gone down.
They all went down.
Yeah, they
Onyx Squadron is 32 points, but was 19. And 30 points, and they're 17 in the first edition. Onyx Squadron, for all you Onyx Squadron guys out in Aussie land, you should be happy to hear your pilot that you guys based your name after now gains the elite pilot skill. So he's with Lieutenant Kestel, Double Edge, and Onyx Squadron Scout all have the full aggressor title bar. And they all gain gunners. So that is quite interesting because gunners are all pretty cool. So if you actually let's touch base on the gunners. So the Galactic Empire's upgrades. So gunners for them are 2. So you have the BT/1, which is going to cost 2 points. He's a gunner, and he requires Darth Vader. So I'm assuming by requires Darth Vader has to probably be in the loadout.
Yeah.
The second one is called Fifth Brother. He is 12 points. I hope the heck he's worth 12 points because that's a lot of points. And he's a gunner. So the Galactic Empire has 2 choices of gunner.
That are specific to them.
That are specific.
There are some generic ones. And it's interesting because Darth Vader's Advanced TIE doesn't have the gunner slot. So it must be the Darth... I wonder if it's the Darth Vader card. Kind of like Maul and...
Well, if you want to see how we're looking at the gunners, the generic gunners that they're coming out with are quite interesting, actually. There's no more generic gunners on yours, is there? On your upgrade sheet?
No.
No? Okay. So the generic gunners on this sheet, there is the Agile Gunner, which stays the same. I don't know what Agile Gunner is because I don't know how it is even. It seems like it's
well, basically, all the gunners were just previously just
renamed.
Yeah, they're just basically characters that they took out of the talent slot and renamed them as gunners.
Oh well, the Agile Gunner was 5 and now is 10.
So it's the same.
The Hotshot Gunner, which was Hotshot Co-Pilot, is 7 and is 7 in this, but 4 in 2.0. So I don't see how that's down because I mean you're only going to be putting one of them on your ship. So I don't know how you can. Anyways, you can't. Anyway, Skilled Bombardier is 2 points in 2.0 and is 1 point in the original.
So the same.
The Veteran Tail Gunner, which is more than likely the tail gun, I just put the word veteran on front of it, is 4 points in 2.0 and is 2 points
So it's the same.
in 1.0. And the veteran turret gunner is new. So I'm assuming with that gunner, you're going to be able to like put him into like another gun and it'd be like a little turret where he can run around.
Well, there's a whole bunch of ships now that are going to have turrets. So I'm sure it's probably do a move. You can turn your turret.
Turn your turret. So his cost is 8. So I honestly don't know what some of these new pilots' abilities are. If any of them have changed or if they all stay the same. I'm pretty sure we do have something that allows us to look over that. But, so we'll see what happens. But the gunner, I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen with the gunner slot. As I don't see a lot of exciting gunner
cards
to be putting into that spot.
No.
So we'll see. Anyway.
Okay. Next one is the TIE Punisher, which they've, they got rid of the Black 8, so they're just down to 3 Punishers. I don't know if that's a big loss or not, because I can't really think of too many builds I saw with Punishers flying around. I mean, the first one, Red Line, was 27 points, he's now 44, so he's basically 5 points cheaper. So obviously, FFG didn't see a whole lot of them on the table either. Death Rain, which is actually one I like to fly, it was pretty decent. Was 26, it's now 42, so that again is 5 points cheaper. And then they kept the Cutlass Squadron Pilot, which was 21, and that's now 36, so that's what, 18? That's 3 points cheaper. So, that's a pretty big drop when you think of it for ships. 5 points, 5 points, 3 points. That's not too bad. They do have one less torpedo on them. They've got the scanner. They have 1 torpedo. They got the 2 of the missiles. They do get the gunner slot. So they're making the most out of the gunner slot that they can.
I don't see, I don't see the benefit of the gunner slot. Because to me, I'm sure that there's going to be people out there that are going to see and use the abilities. But again, I think I'll be a little bit more satisfied with what the gunner is when I see the abilities on all the cards.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, then they're going to have devices, or as we call them, bombs. And then your normal upgrades, modifications. So, not a huge difference in the bar. Really, 1 less torpedo and a gunner. The gunner at least gives you an access to have some sort of crew on your ships.
Yeah, but
it might not be one of the nice ones from the talent pool or anything, but it's at least
most of them guys have crew.
Well, the bombers never had it before, so it's kind of like a half crew.
Yeah.
So the next one after that is my favorite ship. Period. When it comes to Imperial, the Defenders. Which, by the way, are going to be probably the Imperial's most expensive ship because it is supposed to be the counterpart to the Rebel E-Wing. Yeah, that's the word that we heard. Don't be surprised when he goes through this and you're like, holy cow, that's expensive! Because we were told that it is going to be fairly high. Yeah, and they have bumped it up a lot. One thing before we get started on our list of Defenders, we're just down to 5 now because they got rid of Mark Steele and they got rid of the Glaive Squadron. So those Mark Steele's moved. They've gone. Well, but he's no longer on the Defender. So. No, but he's moved to a different ship. So Colonel Vetsery, he was 35. He is now 88. So if we cut that in half, that's 44. That is 9 points more to put Colonel Vetsery onto the board if you're in 1.0 land. Countess Ryad, I never played Everybody her. Loves Countess. I love that card. Was 34. Yeah, she's now 86. So that cut that in half. That's 43. Oh, that's 9 points more to put my favorite little red flyer on the board. Then Rexler Brath. He's been punished just as well. Not as bad because he was 37, so he was high. He's now 84, so that's what, 42. That's only 5 points difference. Out of the three of them, he got the least of the jump when you think about it. I mean, it evens him out on the top three, but he got the least of the jump. The Onyx Squadron pilot is again an ace now, and it gets the elite slot. So now you've got 4 defenders with elite slots.
That's new, isn't it?
Yeah, that's new for the Onyx Squadron.
Yeah, like no, I mean, isn't that pilot new for that ship as well? Or do they always have it on?
No, it was a 32. It's now a 78, so it's now 6 points more as well.
Well, maybe our Onyx Squadron fans took the name from the Defender then.
And the Delta Squadron pilot, it was a 30. It's now a 72. So all of these guys, the Defenders right across the board have, well, they're more expensive. But
once again, we knew that was going to happen. And to be honest with you, they're still cheaper than an E-Wing.
Yeah, but you know what? They got the sensors. So
E-Wing didn't get anything.
They're going to get an extra hull. So it is a hull or is it a shield? No, it's an extra shield. So they're going to get an extra shield. They're going to get sensors, which I don't mind because, again, free target lock when you shoot because I don't know what else I'm going to run in sensors besides that. They still have their heavy and their missile. And we've got a 4th one now that has the elite slot. So, of course, the Colonel Vessery and Countess and Rexler all had that before, but now we've got a 4th. I don't know. I used to like to fly a build that had 2 basic defenders and 2 basic shuttles. Lots of success. It was fun to build. I don't think points-wise I'm going to be able to build that anymore. I think that is now dead with 1.0, unfortunately, but still looking forward to putting these on the table because I think they're gonna bite. Just be expensive to have that bite.
Better than the E-Wing.
No, we'll see. You got to remember, Imperial is about outmaneuvering and flying smart. Rebel is about playing as a team and using each other's abilities.
Yes, but depending on what abilities are on the E-Wing's pilots, it should be interesting to see what's going to happen.
I still think they'll be a good ship.
I'm don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to seeing what I might be able to do with the E-Wing because I really want to play an E-Wing. So we'll see what happens, like literally. But I'm looking forward to playing an E-Wing. I would really like to run a squadron of 3 of them just for the heck of it.
That'd be
and try to have some fun.
Yeah. Next, I'm going to go with the TIE fighter. This is the TIE/IN fighter. Used to just be called TIE fighter. Gone is Backstabber. I like Backstabber. Let's see. Dark Curse. Dark Curse is gone. Youngster is gone. What is this? Winged Gundart is gone, and Chaser is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Those are all pilots that people flew.
Yeah, for the most part. Especially Backstabber. Backstabber, I mean, it was, if you're doing a swarm, that was a fun ship to have in there. It was just a fun ship. But I mean, you still got your favorites. You got Howl Runner. He was 18. He's now 40, so he's 2 points more expensive. And something to keep in mind with the ties. No improvements on the upgrade bar by any means. They all have modifications, and the ones that had the elite slot before still have it now. Nothing new. We will get a couple new ship. Well, we'll get a whole bunch of new ties though, but because after Howl Runner is this Iden Verso, and he's going to be 40 points. He's new to the game. Mauler Mythil is still around. He is actually a bit cheaper. He was 17 points in 1.0. He's 32 in 2.0, so that works out to be about a point more. Let's see. Then we're going to have Scourge Skatu. He's also going to. He was 17 as well. He's now 32, so he's a point cheaper. Wampa. I mean, everybody loved Wampa. And he was 14. He's now 30, so he's a point more expensive. Then we got a whole bunch of new ones. Del Miko, Gideon Hask, Sin Marana, and Valen Rudar. I know I pronounced that wrong. Shoot me later. They're all 30 points except Valen, who's 28. They all actually come with elites and the modification. And it's interesting because Wampa never got elite, and yet he's up at the top with all the elites. So
there's probably something that's going to allow him to have something.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
Probably his ability on his card.
Yeah. And then they made the last bunch cheaper. Night Beast. Night Beast was 15. He's now 26. So that's what, 13? He's 2 points cheaper. Black Squadron Ace, which does have the elite still, was 14. He's 26. So he's a point cheaper. Obsidian Squadron Pilot and Academy Pilot again. 13, now 24, 12, now 23. Really just a pointer, a smidge cheaper. But I was, you know what, with all the changes with the Z95s and the A-Wings and all that kind of stuff, and they're talking how they want to make Swarm exciting, I was really expecting for the basic ties something different. I mean, they got a bunch of new pilots. Maybe the new pilots have these awesome things that make the Swarm better, but I don't know.
You have to remember, there's going to be bonuses. You have to remember, like, the new pilots and stuff, there's going to be bonuses if you're flying a Swarm in the Imperial. Because that's what they're doing. That's their thing, right?
No,
so there's some kind of faction bonus that you're going to be able to utilize with running a Swarm.
Wow.
So, like, so many ships, if you have so many ships, you get this bonus. If you lose that many ships, you lose the bonus kind of thing, you know? So, well, I mean, I think that everybody shouldn't get too worried about it. I think it's still coming.
I was just expecting a little more, just something to jazz them up a little bit. It looks like it'll be the new pilots that do so, but I would have liked to see the upgrade bar. Just get something like 2 modifications each. That would have been... What? They don't roll that much dice. Think about it. They don't roll that much dice. They're inexpensive. You give them a second modification. The worst they're going to do is, I don't know, have some little bit of cheesiness, but there's still only a couple dice, so whatever. Anyways, I've got the Phantom and the Bomber left, but I'll let you go over. I'll let you go all the Galactic upgrades that they have.
Well, the Alpha Class Starwing keeps the OS-1 Ordnance loadout and the AXG-1 Assault configuration.
Yeah, that's a little circle symbol, isn't it?
Yeah. So they keep both Ordnance or
what is it? Configuration. That's what the symbol means. Configuration.
They keep those configurations from the other one. So it should be interesting to see what they're going to do. So that's something new with them. The costs for the Ordnance loadout is 0, and the cost for the Assault configuration is 1. Is 0. So actually, 1 in the old one and 0 in the new, in the 2.0. So both configurations for the Alpha class are no points.
Yeah, that's great.
Cost you anything. You can automatically put them on, right? The talent skill, which it used to be EP, the elite pilot skill, but now they just call it talent skill. The only thing that the Galactic Empire gets is Ruthless, which I'm assuming Ruthless, I think, is a benefit for running a Swarm, I think, in this one. I think. Don't take my word for it. Also, the Lambda class shuttle gets the ST-321, which is the same. It has its cost is 6 points. It's cost 3 in the old. Dauntless is 6 points in the new. Cost 2 for the Decimator. So it's gone up in cost.
Well, that was 3 and it's now 1.
Oh, that's right. Ruthless.
Yeah, Ruthless
went
was
down,
3.
Went
and
down
it's
in
now
cost.
1, so that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Now you gotta remember these are ones that are specific to the
Galactic Empire.
We have some generic upgrades that we'll go over that in theory will be coming in the boxes no matter what factions you get.
The 000 crew, which says requires Darth Vader. So I'm assuming, once again, if you're going to run that card, Darth Vader needs to be in the build.
Yeah.
So the crew is new. It's a crew card and it costs 3 points. Admiral Sloan, who's new, he costs 10. These are all Galactic Empire crew cards that are strict to Galactic Empire.
They'll be the new ones.
Agent Callus, is 2 points in the old. He's 6 points now in the new, so he's went up cost. Hello, thank you very much.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't like that because in 1.0 the way the ability works, it's easy. It's easy to play. I play it right now. I love it. But in 2.0, you have to have target locks and stuff in place to actually make anything happen. So there's more involved in it. I don't know that they really needed to bump it up.
Sienna Ree is new.
Yeah.
And if it's female, male, I don't know, is 10 points. That's a crew card. Darth Vader, we're all familiar with him. His cost was 3. Are you ready for this? His new cost is 14 points.
Well, that's only a 4-point increase from.
But he also has force, right? He comes with force. So you put him on your thing, you get force. Director Krennic. Well, everybody's all excited about Director Krennic card. Well, guess what? Krennic does not change. He's 5 and 5. The Grand Inquisitor, which you can now get as a crew card, and it's new. He is 16 points.
So he would have been an 8-point.
He's
card.
more expensive than Darth Vader.
I'm expecting good things. I haven't seen the Grand Inquisitor card.
No,
I'm gonna have to go looking for
it. Better be like pretty decent for the price it's costing. Grand Moff Tarkin. We all know who he is. That old geezer guy on the big boats.
You just don't. He kicks your butt in Galaxy Wars. That's why you hate him.
And he is 10 points.
Yeah.
But he's new. Minister Tao is new. He or she is 7 points. Moff Jarad, which I'm pretty sure is like Moff Tarkin's son or something. With the same name. It was 2 points in the old version. Is now 12. So he's 10-point increase.
No, 4-point increase. 12 divided in half is 6. Minus 2 is 4.
But you really could only run one of them, so it's technically a 10.
Well, the trend here seems to be the ones that are specific for the Galactic Empire, and the ones that you would play have all increased in cost by at least 200%.
Seventh Sister is brand new.
Yeah.
New crew card to the Galactic. 12 points.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
ISB Slicer. I disagree with this one. I think it should be a lot higher. Is 2 points in this game. In the new version, it is 3 points. I think it should be about 5 or 6, to be honest with you.
No, I think
Death Troopers is new. Well, we already knew it was in the Renegades pack or the Reaper pack.
And it's a double crew, too.
And it's double crew. They've increased it to double crew. No, it always was.
It always was, but yeah.
But it's 6 points. I don't think it's 6 points in the first one.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's like 3 points.
Yeah.
So it's increased in price. Emperor Palpatine, everybody's favorite. He is 13 points.
So he's
cheaper. 8.
He's cheaper. So 13 is 6.5. So he's 1.5 points cheaper. Well, all he is a guessing die roll now. He's like a R2D2. Or not R2D2.
No, he's
C-3PO.
He spends his energy or his force to do stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is you can only use him now only so much because he only has so much force.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I don't think he's the bang for the buck that he used to be. Anyways, we got a couple more ships here, and then that'll tie up the Galactic Empire. Then we can go over the generics pretty quick. But the Phantoms, which I know a lot of people are getting excited to play again because they're hoping for good things. Whisper is basically the same. He was 36 points. He's now 52. So that would have been 26 points in 1.0. So technically he's 10 points cheaper. So I could see why they want to fly a Whisper, because a 25-point Whisper would have been played even now. That's a cheap ship for 4 dice rolls. That's not too bad. Echo, who was 30, is now 50, so that's 5 points cheaper. Sigma Squadron Ace, which again, they got rid of the pilot nonsense. And I believe that used to be referred to as Shadow Squad. Was 27, it's now 46. And then Imdar Test Pilot, which I think was the Sigma Squad Pilot, something new. Its old time would have been like 25. It's got a cost of 44. So in altogether, the Phantoms are like discounted big time.
Well,
and the generic, the Sigma Squad.
I might actually fly a Phantom.
Yeah, the generic one, well, the higher generic one got the elite pilot skill. They've all had, the Echo and Whisper already had that. They got sensors, they got a crew, and they got a modification. So nothing really has changed there except for the add of one elite. Except they're way cheaper. I mean, Whisper, think of him as 10 points cheaper. he's good bang for the buck. Put on Cloak, fly him around. He's 10 points you put on something else. I kind of like that. Anyways, I think a lot of other people do too, because I see a lot of people practicing with the Phantoms right now in fun games. Looking forward to it. The last one is going to be the TIE Bomber. Not something that I don't think gets played a lot.
They probably want to change that.
Well, I mean, they did some switching places. Captain Jonas is number 1, and then it's Major Reimer, and then Thomas Brienne, which was in the first place, is now in the 3rd. They're cheaper. I mean, Captain Jonas used to be 22 points. He's now 36. So let's see, the 44. So that's about 4 points cheaper. Major Reimer was 26. He's now 34. Thomas Brienne was 24. He's now 34. So they're all definitely cheaper to put out there. Deathfire, which is one that I flew, it's the only one that I liked in the entire group. He was 17. He's now 32, so he's a whole 1 point cheaper, no big deal. Gamma Squadron Ace, they got rid of Veteran, and they've decided to bring in the Aces, was 19. He's now 30. So that's what, 4 points cheaper. Scimitar Squadron Pilot was 16. He's now 28, so that's 2 points cheaper. Let's see here. And yeah, Lauren Squad Pilot is gone, so they did lose a ship, but I don't think anybody flew most of these ships anyways. They could have probably skated off another 2. The upgrade bar, really not much different. They got the torpedoes. They've added torpedoes. Oh, actually, no, they've lost torpedoes. They've only got 1 torpedo now, but they got a gunner, and they gained a second, not bomb, but device. So they now have 2 devices instead of 1, and they now have 1 torpedo instead of 2 with the gunner.
Generator.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what it is. Bomblet generator on Deathfire works for me. So that's fine.
Depends if Deathfire is the same thing, though.
No, I don't think they'd messed around with those too much. But basically, it's, yeah, the same sort of upgrade bar. Nothing too exciting there. And that's it for Galactic Empire. I mean, you don't play tons of them, but anything really stand out there for you?
No, I honestly, I haven't really figured out the kind of ships to play. I've been playing the aggressors, and so now I'm going to kind of try to figure out something else to play.
I like the Lambda class shuttles. I'll continue playing them. I rogue builds all the time with them. They're fun. The Phantoms, I think you're going to see more of those out to play because they're definitely affordable. And I mean, with 4 dice roll attacks, if you play them right, they're going to be good. Defenders, I don't like the fact they made them so damn expensive, but they've got all kinds of toys to them and some more dynamics, so I'm definitely going to have fun with that. Let's see here. Well, that's not what I wanted, or is it? No. So, I mean, for the most part, I don't think they did too bad. We'll see how it goes. I mean, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So that leads us to just going over the generic upgrades. So, I mean, there's not tons. We kind of just slapped them on the end of the Galactic Empire because it had the least amount of information out of the 3. So you wanna give it a go? I'll let you go first.
Okay, so the Astromechs, there is 4. And 3 of them are familiar and 1's new.
Yeah.
So, the R2 Astromech, which we are all familiar with, usually cost 1 in the 1.0, now costs 6, and so that's went up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The R3 Astromech, which we again are all familiar with, costs 2, went up to 3, so it kind of went down, which is fine because it's kind of an average card anyways. Yeah. The new one is the R4 Astromech, which is 2 points, and I have no clue what's on that card. And the R5 Astromech, which we are also familiar with, is in 1.0 costs 1 point. In this version, he's 5 points, and that's a increase of 3 points.
And as we brought up in the Rebel video, the Astromechs now are all 3 factions. The special little droids they had for the scum.
Well, if you technically look at it, the Imperial or the Galactic Empire had robots look like R2-D2.
No, I know, but there was no need to change. I mean, there really didn't need to be 2 groups of droids. I don't think. So they fine. Well, they have one.
Seeing how the X-wing is getting 2 more factions.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be 7 factions soon enough. That's gonna be nuts.
But we'll talk.
That would explain why they're making it generic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't. Yeah. So that's cool. What about the cannons? What's sticking around for everybody to use?
Well, cannons have 4. So you have the heavy laser cannon, which everybody loves. Get a load of this though. The heavy laser cannon is 7 points in 1.0. It has now decreased in cost and is only 4 points. Which is quite interesting because if it plays the same way as it plays in 1.0, that's a pretty devastating cannon.
Yes.
Ion cannon is 3 points in 1.0, is 5 points in 2.0.
So it's a bit cheaper.
A bit cheaper. Jamming beam was 1 point in 1.0. In 2.0, it is now 2 points, which it balances out.
It's the same, yeah.
Tractor beam, well, it was 1 point. Now it's going to 3, so it also went up. And so the cannons.
I thought for sure jamming would get more of an increase than tractor beam.
We lost. What's that one cannon that I like playing with? That came in the A3A interceptor.
I don't remember.
Mangler.
Mangler cannon. Yeah, Mangler's not there.
The Mangler has went poof.
Well, unless they put Mangler on one of the factions, but as a generic that everybody can use, it's gone.
Yeah, it's toast. Toast, Gonzo.
But I mean, with all the people using the jamming, which is actually turning out to be a really successful strategy.
You know, I originally came up with that idea.
More than that.
You know, I originally came up with trying a jamming thing. Unfortunately, I never really built one.
No, but you did bring it up first. That it was the coolest thing. Yeah.
I thought it was totally cool. I'm like, man, this jamming thing is pretty cool. I think we're going to play more jamming. And now everybody else is playing it, and I'm not playing it.
Yeah. You were ahead of your own time.
Not really.
What about crew? What's generic for crew? Because I know the second one makes me smile.
Well, the generic stuff, Freelance Slicer is new. He's only 3 points.
And slicers are all about jamming, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah.
GNK Gonk. Gonk was 2 points, and only Scum. He is now generic.
Was Gonk not a rebel thing?
No.
Was he not rebel?
No, he wasn't rebel.
No, you're right. He was Scum. He's now everybody.
He is now everybody can have him,
Yeah.
and he's 10 points.
Yeah, but that's only 5 points in 1.0 land, and really for his ability.
10 points.
But everybody can have him.
Informant, brand new.
No.
Well, you have new.
Well, it is.
So
but
informant
it
is probably like recon specialist
or something. Yeah.
Novice technician, which I'm pretty sure is like tactician. It sounds like.
Yeah. Like I said, some of them
Is,
they changed the names, but they do the same thing.
It now costs 4. Perceptive co-pilot, which I have no idea what that is 10 points.
Oh, it's going to be a good one.
Should be a good one.
Yeah.
Seasoned navigator is 5 points.
Should be the same as navigator.
Tactical officer, which we're all familiar with,
Same as tactician.
is 2 points. So those are the crews.
Yeah, they didn't really boost too much damage there. I mean, you got 2 that are 10 points, and then the rest are minor, so it's no big deal.
No. So it should be interesting to see.
Devices, or as we call them, bombs.
So the devices are, well, Connor nets are sticking around, and they are originally 4, but are at 6, so they went down in price. Proton bombs are 5. They went down in price if you run more than one of them. If you run only one of them, well, then they stay the same. Proximity mines stays the same, or costs more if you're only running one of them. Seismic charges is, I don't know why they kept that one, to be honest with you.
I never used it.
No one ever uses it. Is 2 points in this version. In the new version, it's 3.
So it's cheaper, so they're going to try to get you to use it.
It's cheaper. And then everyone's favorite, the bomblet generator, is sticking around. It was 3 points in 2.0 or 1.0. In 2.0, it's going up to 5 points.
So it's actually half a point cheaper.
Unless you run one.
And you know what's missing? What was the one thing that I used to like to use? Clusters.
Yeah, they're all gone.
I loved clusters. They were fantastic, especially when you can get and drop all 3 in the same
That's
line.
a huge bomb. Pain in the neck bomb.
Whatever. They were fantastic.
I'm glad it's gone.
That's because he'd hit them.
I'm glad it's gone. Way to go, Final Time.
Well, what do they still have of the big ones there then?
None.
Really?
There's no big ones.
It's all little tokens.
Just Connor net.
Yeah, Connor net's the only really big one now.
Yeah. Everything's small.
Oh. Anyways, shall I do a couple of mine?
The talent.
The talent. Oh, let's take a look here. Generics. There's going to be a new one called Composure. Cost 2. It'll go in the talent slot. Composure. What do you think that is?
Probably keeping you cool. Probably removing stress.
Well,
removing stress.
I'm hoping it's something like they put on Fenral, where if you're within 1 and facing it, you get a bonus die.
I think it's going to be removing stress.
You think so?
Yeah.
Crack Shot was 1, and he's still going to cost 1, so technically he's now half the cost. Daredevil was 3, still going to be 3, so technically he's half the cost. Debris Gambit was 2. Still going to be 2, so he's half the cost. Elusive was 2. It's going to be 3, so it's a bit cheaper, but it's only, a bit cheaper. Expert Handling, and this is a fun one because we've got 3 bases now, don't we? We have large, medium, and small. And there's a number of things here. Engine upgrade, expert handling, and hull upgrade, shield upgrade, and stealth device, which some of those are on your sheets. Where they have a variable point cost table. So depending if it's a large, medium, or small, your point cost for that item is going to change. And I found it interesting. So let's look at expert handling. Original cost on that was 2. Cost 2 points to put it on. On a small base ship in 2.0, it's going to be 2 points. So basically, it got cheaper, right? 1 point cheaper. Medium base is paying 4 points, so basically the cost stayed the same. Large base is paying 6 points, so they pay 50% more, but they have expert handling. That we'll have to see how that goes, and I'm glad now that they put the setup on a computer that just fills in all the numbers, because I guarantee if they hadn't done that, I'd hate to be a judge at a thing with all the different bases and that. Oh, that's 4 points. No, that's 6. No, that's 2. Leave me alone. But anyways, that's going to be a variable. I think that's going to be interesting. Intimidation was a 2. It's now a 3, so it's a bit cheaper. Juke was a 2. It's now a 4, so it's the same. Lone Wolf again, 2, now a 4.
And if you played
it's
any
the same.
store championships, you'll get the new Juke.
Yeah, Marksmanship was a 3, and now it's a 1. So basically, it's gone down 2.5
That's
points.
because marksmanship's useless. No one ever played it.
It was just expensive.
No one ever played it.
I tried it in a couple builds. It was.
I liked it.
For the point cost in the slot, you used other stuff.
I liked it, but yeah.
Outmaneuver is a 3 to a 6, so that's the same. Predator, which
Everyone
uses Predator, was a 3. It's now a 2. So technically, it just got 2 points cheaper. So that's not too shabby. Saturated Salvo, which I think is a newer one, was a 6. Or pardon me, was a 1. It's gone up to a 6. So obviously, they decided that they released it too cheap. Because it ain't that old, I don't think.
No, it's just all renegades.
Yeah. Squad leader, 2 to a 4, so that's the same. Swarm tactics. Here's your squad thing, or your swarm thing. Swarm tactics was a 3. Yeah. It's still a 3. So basically, it's got 1.5.
Again, I'm trying to tell everybody. What I meant by the thing is they mentioned this. Fantasy Flight said this, that every faction is going to get benefits that are based around the faction.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, because I think a lot of Imperial players, Galactic Empire players, are going to use cards like that because they'll get extra benefits for being in Swarm.
Swarm Tactics also doesn't have the little circle in front of it anymore. I'm pretty sure it had the little dot in the old days. Did it
Yes,
not?
it was 1.
Yeah, no, it's not anymore. It's got no dot. In fact, the only ones.
No, I don't think it was. No. But I can pull out my cards and look.
Yeah, Squad Leader and Lone Wolf are the only ones with the little dot on them. Then we got Trick Shot, which was everybody's favorite. Cost you nothing. It's now 1. So not much of an increase to really care about. Actually, I'll go into torpedoes. Advanced Proton Torpedoes was a 6. It's still a 6. So they're cheaper. And that's one thing I noticed on those two. It looks like the big weapons that do lots of damage are now cheaper.
It's because they wanted you to blow up your ship splitter.
I guess so. The ion torpedoes were 5. They now are 6, so that's cheaper. Except for this, proton torpedoes. Yay, proton torpedoes. Were 4. Now they're 9. So they've gone up in cost.
Well, they'll probably do some other damage. You also got to realize that all the torpedoes and the missiles and the bombs and all that stuff have energy now. So you're going to be able to use them more than just once. So
yeah, I guess, but that doesn't explain why they'd make them cheaper. And they cut the selection down. I don't know.
One of the things that has been added to the game is the Force.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this ability because I think that, technically speaking, a pilot like Luke Skywalker, which everybody kind of doesn't play in 1.0, has the Force now, puts a little bit more oomph behind him.
Yeah, and a lot of people, the Force is more than just, ooh, he gets tokens. The Force actually has upgrade cards to it.
Yeah, it has upgrade cards. So, there's 4 of them in the generics. So there's Heightened Perception, which costs 3. Then there's Instinctive Aim, which costs 2. Then there's Sense, which is 6. Then there's Supernatural Reflex, which is 12.
So basically, we're talking evades, focuses, stuff like that.
Probably more than likely.
Yeah.
But the Force, from what I understand, what the Force works like is you spend a Force, you can turn eyeballs to evades and eyeballs to hits. So every time you spend a Force, you get to do something like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what will comprehend that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So Illicit. Illicit I'm excited about because a lot of ships, Illicit was strictly scum. Well, now it is...
Rebels had one ship or two that could have it.
No, but you had to put the upgrade card to get in.
But yeah.
So now you have it. So the good thing about it is some ships, like, you know, it would be nice if you could do it with Ewing, but it'll never happen. But cloaking device, which is a single, which is now you can only have one cloaking device in your builds.
Yeah.
When before cloaking device, you could have more than one. I believe in 1.0.
I'll have to look.
But I think it was.
I'm not sure about that.
Cost was 2. It's now 5. It went up in cost. Contraband Cybernetics is cost in the old version was 1. It's now 5. It's went up. Dead Man Switch, which everybody loves playing, is gone down. Is 2 points in the old, 2 points in the new. Feedback Array is 2 points. The new is 4 points, so it stayed the same. Inertial Dampeners, which was 1 point, is now 1 point in the new game, so technically it's going down. Rigged Cargo Chute, which a lot of people use, was 1 point, it's now 4, so it's went up in cost. So it's going to be interesting to see some of that stuff going. Missiles. I mean, so he's talking about torpedoes. Here's your missiles. So cluster missiles, which he's still excited about. They get cluster missiles. So you have 4. They're cost 4, but they are 5 in the new version. So they're go down in cost. Concussion missiles are 4 in the old. Now 6. Go down in cost. Homing missiles, originally 5. They are now 3, which brings them down in cost.
Well, that's tremendous because if you...
Homing missiles are really good.
If you take homing, you double up 5 for 2.0, that would have been 10. And they're what, 3? So they're like 3 points, 3.5 points cheaper.
Yeah, but no one ever used them in 1.0 because they're way too expensive.
Yeah, no, they did. They put them on the little Z95s and things and zoom in for the big one attack. They were paid.
Ion missiles were 3. They're now 4. Proton rockets were 5. Now they're 7. So they went up in cost. New. Here's something new. Everybody ready? Barrage rockets. Go up. Our cost for those puppies are 6.
Do we know what those puppies are yet?
I don't have a clue. Do you?
No, that'll be a different video. We're just looking at costs and upgrades here.
So the modification slot, a lot of the stuff looks the same, but we'll go through it. Ready? Ablative plating, which everybody was wondering why some ships couldn't have that plating thing that the bombers have.
Yeah.
Well, now everybody can have it. Its cost is 4.
Yeah.
Advanced Slam, which again, only certain ships can have the Advanced Slam. Now everybody can have it. Is 2, cost 3. And the new one, it went down in cost. Afterburners, which is new. I've never heard of it.
And I'm hoping that's the same thing as auto thrusters, but...
I don't think so. But its modification, its cost is 8. Electronic baffle, its cost was 1, goes up, and the new one is to 2. It stays the same. Engine upgrade, hull upgrade, shield upgrade, and stealth device are all on the charts.
Yeah.
So again, they go up by range. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. They go up by range, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, these 3.
So they go up. Oh no, that's agility.
No, that's agility value.
So your agility for those goes,
and that's for
by whatever.
That's
so if
for
you have a 0 agility, you get like the cost is cheaper.
Yeah.
On some of them.
Well, let's see. Hull upgrade is a 3-point cost right now. If you have a 0 agility, it costs you 2 points, which is 1. If you have a 1 agility, it costs you 3, which is in 1.0, 1.5. If you have a 2 agility, they cost you 5, so they're starting to get close to the same value as 1. And if you have a 3 agility, they cost you 7, so you're paying a bit more. Shield upgrades was a 4, and it works in the same sort of pattern. 3 for 0, 4 for 1, 6 for 2, so that's all cheaper. And then a 3, you pay 8, which is the same as 1.0. Stealth device, a 3. And
3, 4, 6, 8.
yeah, it's 3, 4, and 6. So you're fine that way. And then if you have a 3 agility value, you're paying 8. So that's the only one that really gouges you that way. The engine upgrade itself, that is still based. Engine upgrade is still based on the size of the base, and that one was what, 4 original cost. The small base gets it for 3. So that's way cheaper. Medium base gets it for 6, so that's 1 cheaper. And the large base pays 1 for it. So, again, the variables, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting.
I think that's a good move on their part to some extent.
Yeah.
Munitions failsafe still sticks around. Its cost was 1, it's now 2, so it remains the same if you were to play 2 of them. Static discharge vanes, which is new, is 6 cost. I have no idea what that is. And tactical scrambler, which we already have, is 2 points, and it's not looking like it's changing. So sensors, you have advanced sensors, which were 3. The new cost is 8, so they went way up. Collision detector, which is 0, get a load of this, is 2.0, is now 5 points.
Yeah.
Huge jump.
That is a good jump.
Fire control system was 2, goes to 3.
So it's cheaper.
Trajectory simulator was 1, goes to 3.
More expensive.
So, your generic upgrades, which everybody's going to be having, should definitely put a good twist in the game, depending on any of the wording.
I still got 2 more. I still got 2 more.
You've got 2 more?
I just have what's the last thing that we're down to 2 turrets. I'll just put it that way. In the generic turrets, there's now a choice of 2. You have dorsal turret, which was 3, it's now 4 points, so it's cheaper. And you have ion cannon turret, which was 5 points, it's now 6. So it's
people are
basically
still going to be able to ion people.
Exactly. They've made it a bit cheaper, but they've given you a choice of 2 turrets. So if you're a guy who likes to stick different turrets on your ships generically, pick a faction that maybe has some other turrets with it.
But I mean, with the Galactic Empire, I think things are good for them too. I honestly feel that with going through already the Rebel Alliance and the the Galactic Empire, they've tried balancing the game out better by cards that people use to the advantage, which I'm also definitely positive that wording is going to be changed on a lot of them. Have definitely tried to balance the game out more.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff that was specialized to one particular faction is now spread out to all 3. But as we know, 3 is becoming 5 factions.
Which is now becoming 7.
And this video was done with Gen Con just opening up. We now understand it's now going to be 7 factions. 7 factions in X-Wing.
That's another video that we will
that's going to be a video.
It's going to be good!
Oh my lord.
I'm excited! Oh yeah! I still think it's too much. But 7 factions in X-Wing. Like, what are people gonna do? Like, do I want to play this? Do I want to play that? Do I want to play this? Do I want to play that? Maybe I want to do this. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen. Anyways, hey.
Yes.
Thanks for checking into our Galactic Empire conversation with
That's
our little touch bases on a little bit of Gen Con info. That we will definitely record.
That's right, because they're basing on all that stuff on Rebels!
Yeah! What? Rebels!
Oh my lord. Anyways, folks, we still got another one of these to put out for Scum and Villainy. And maybe a redo of the Rebels website for them. Anyways, have a good night, folks.
Good night.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.